This is the Oscar. This is the Oscar.
So first, before my presentation, we can't do the trip on May 3rd because of the budget cuts. So we either need to move it to next year, or what were the dates we could do it?
Well, so we don't even know yet,
Okay.
but the latest possible would be either the day before break, which is the 19th of April, or the Monday or Tuesday right after break, 29th and 30th. So it's gonna be a little bit rough, and actually, where did I put it? Put the schedule, let's see.
Did you just slap you?
You scared me.
I didn't. I made a joke.
Just looking at the
You're
IB
scared.
schedule, 29th, no exams.
Oh, you're not gonna
no
go on the phone.
exams. There are
That was
exams.
just me.
Who's watching this?
That's
You don't.
I'm sending both of them.
Do you think he watches these? Jarvis, are you
So
watching?
there should be no exams the 29th and 30th.
It's the only reason I would
The
not
only
hold
way
them.
that would be a problem is if people were like the first, if they wanted to be home
Besides it just being funny.
so wait.
and business management, politics, philosophy, math.
Okay, the 29th is right
oh,
after
oh, oh,
break.
oh.
Okay,
Today.
so would people want to go to the places the day right after break instead if
Yeah.
we can't schedule that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Right after, right before.
So I
Right
can
after.
right after.
Yes.
That sounds
I
great.
can do that. Joe. There's no stuff I have on that first day.
Yeah.
Who's deciding stuff?
The 29th
29th. Okay.
of April.
Okay.
So I guess this is what I would like to do, is to maybe put out another either message or
Yeah.
survey or something. See how many people
That was
and give you a lot.
Sorry.
Okay,
Oh, Olivia.
From
Yeah.
there, then I can propose it.
okay.
She keeps telling.
I
Wait, no,
can't
wait.
guarantee
Oh,
anything.
Yes.
Right,
You're-
yeah.
It even it hinges on.
Why do we have to do that every kind of daily? I don't want to think about anything. I don't want to think about
I was
anything.
literally banking on, like, okay, tomorrow I just don't have to think about anything.
Okay,
Okay. Right.
Kākōpō. The world's only flightless parrot, and why we should save them. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's one of them. They live in the forests of New Zealand. They live on Codfish Island, Anchor Island, and a small portion of the North Island, which is like one of the main islands of New Zealand. They're the world's only flightless parrot. They just have like stupid little useless wings. And they're also the world's heaviest parrot. They get to a max of 8.8 pounds, so they're like really big.
It's like me when I was a baby. Oh.
They can still like climb trees though, and they like, cause they have like big feet. And most of what they eat is fruit in trees. And their favorite food is the remove fruit, which they are able to reach because they can climb. So then, this video is of one of them booming to attract people. They like build a little bowl to like echo their noise out, and then yeah,
Wanna try?
yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Invited you
Hello?
next me. That's how you're attracting me. I literally, I think you cannot not laugh at the vine boom sound.
Can you hear it?
No.
I see.
I
booming.
can
hear it from
See,
here.
you can't
I
see
can
the
visually see the
sound of
boom. It's literally me and I was in the car. I think booming and booming.
Let's try it again. There's,
Can you hear that?
Yeah,
I think
heard
so.
that.
I think so.
Yeah.
There's also like knocking on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like a little.
I
Oh yeah, I hear
Yeah.
it. Dude, so cool. Dunk.
So it's not like
It's like a
vine boom
frog
sound.
croak.
Yeah, kind of. And this is one climbing a tree to find food.
Ooh. That's so mean.
They're very talented.
He's actually me climbing a tree when I was 5. I just read that.
It's like blue and red.
Branch grabbers.
Alright, that's all we need. But
They're so cute. Why do you not handle when I make that sound? It's funny. Can you just quiet? You need to stop. You need to stop. We're having a party.
This for some reason does not
We're having
rank.
booners. Why is this like metal?
Yeah, they go up to the just wagon, right?
It's so fun.
Yeah, like
I'm
you're
having a
still
boner right now.
Yeah, like
It's a boner.
I think it's funny.
It's not that funny. We're being serious.
Let it paint stare.
That was
Coming back.
Josephine, if you died, I'd be about to get right.
There's more videos for that.
That's literally what's happening?
What happened to the presentation?
The videos like made it malfunction. It'll be back. It'll be back.
Sauce, bro.
What
the
That's like balls.
Oh, it's like the metal. It's like this metal.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Better way.
This is my
Yeah. It's tracks.
I knew it. Oh wait!
You lost.
I'm gonna do this.
You lost.
No.
Oh.
Okay, we're ready. We're ready. We're ready.
Okay. You're gonna need to go through the videos again.
Now, let's just do this.
Okay.
Oh, you hear it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so like mind boom.
That's their mating call.
It sounds like those like when you like put your hand on like a glass and boom. What do they call it? Or like there's like
Yeah, I know what you're trying to do. Oh yes.
This is a little bit about the recent history of their population. Their lowest known population was 18 in 1977, so that's like when it was being like closely monitored. It could have been way lower before that. Through conservation efforts, their population has reached 247. And their population fell because of numerous invasive species that have been introduced to New Zealand. And here is like a graph made by the New Zealand Department of Conservation that shows like their population.
What were the invasives? Was one
I have a
domestic
slide.
cat? Oh, okay.
Because they're flightless, they're easy prey for many animals, including people. So the first people that went there hunted them because they were really easy. They're little, they can't fly away. And they have no natural predators, so that's why they evolved to be that way. They don't have any predators to escape, so they can be fat and not fly. The first settlers of New Zealand both hunted Kākōpō and brought rats, which killed the chicks and ate their eggs because the chicks aren't like in a nest anywhere or anything, they're just on the ground. And then later European settlers brought animals that competed with them. Those were possums and deer for food, which were trees and fruit. And then the European settlers also cut down trees, which they relied on for food, for farm life. The settlers cut down. Yeah.
Who were the first settlers?
I mean, the Maori, I don't.
Where did they come from? Polynesian.
Yeah, I know.
Maori or
Yeah,
Polynesian.
Polynesia. Yeah. I don't know where Polynesia is.
But this was probably, so like, if you look at the diaspora of Polynesians, they moved out probably from, mainland Asia and made their way across the Pacific and into the South Pacific. So any kind of movement of boats and food are gonna carry rats, but you're probably talking more about the European settlers that really brought most of these invasives.
Yeah, well, the rats were brought in with the Maori.
Yeah.
Yeah, but everything else came with the Europeans. And then more rats were introduced with the Europeans in addition to cats and stoats, which preyed on the chicks. So that's a rat, and then a stoat, and then there's a possum, which is different from our opossums here. They're like different, and you can see, I don't know if it's a Kākōpō egg, but he's eating an egg.
He's cardiac.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
The posture on the mouse.
So at one point they were considered, at multiple points throughout their history, they were considered a lost species. There were failed efforts in the late 1800s to conserve the small lone population. 6 males were caught from 1949 to 1973 in a conservation event. However, all but 1 died, and they were all males, so they weren't going to be able to do any real conservation of that at the time. And conservationists did not give hope, and they searched again for more Kākōpō in 1974. They were able to find 18 more males, which proved that there was still a population, but they still weren't able to find females, so they couldn't really do any breeding. And then a colony of 200 was found on Raikura, which is predator-free, and that colony included females, so they could then do captive breeding. And then these birds have served as the foundation for modern populations, so the modern populations have spread like across to lots, like hundreds of different islands now, but from what we know, they're all like founded from this population. Many individuals have been bred in captivity and successfully introduced into the wild. And then once they're in the wild, in like nature parks and other places, their diet is supplemented with specially formulated pellets just to ensure that the population is healthy. So Predator Free 2050 is an initiative to make New Zealand predator free by 2050. In 1994, there was kind of a precedent to this. There was an effort to relocate Kākōpō to Resolution Island, but stoats were accidentally introduced, and Resolution Island was predator free. This program aims to eradicate all stoats, rats, and possums from New Zealand by 2050. These species impact all endemic species, not just Kākōpō. So New Zealand has lots of, they have multiple unique flightless birds, lizards, that are all affected by these. And then some islands, 140 of them actually, in nature reserves have already been made predator free, whether that's by eradicating or they were already predator free, they've never had predators introduced. Most of this has been achieved through the trapping of invasive species, and the traps are relatively safe for native wildlife because there's no animals that are equivalent to there's no native animals that are equivalent to the ones that are like being targeted for the traps. So this is an individual, his name is Sirocco, and his mother fell ill and could no longer care for him, so he became the first Kākōpō to be hand-reared. And his birthday is March 23rd, 1997, so he's 27 years old as of 4 days ago. There's a, if you click, again.
Yay! Happy birthday, Sirocco.
The proper way to raise Kākōpō in captivity was not yet known, so he ended up imprinting on people. Nowadays, they like know that that's a danger and you can't release them back into the wild if they get too adjusted to people. But his release into the wild failed because of his imprinting and becoming reliant on people. So he was returned to captivity and he became New Zealand's official spokesbird for conservation.
And what does he say?
Yeah, that's what he spoke.
Yeah, that's what he said.
He spoke.
He actually
Oh, he started booming everywhere for everyone.
tried to name
He
it.
booped on everyone.
Okay, so this is
Really
him.
good class.
So fat.
He's really trying.
This
He's
is
like the
him
size
in
of her head.
2014 at New Zealand Parliament.
Bigger.
He's well loved.
Yeah.
I like to feed him.
Yeah.
He's so cute.
So they toured him around to like teach about conservation. Yeah.
He's so cute.
Sirocco needs some Ozempic or something.
And then,
Ready?
yeah, I'm ready. This is a longer video.
Stalking.
It ought to be impossible to describe a creature as looking old-fashioned, but that's exactly how Sirocco looks, with his big sideburns and his Victorian Victorian gentleman's face.
It's actually nice to see him wandering around in the forest undergrowth.
You can see he's got very good camouflage.
Yes.
So evolution hasn't entirely rendered him useless.
Hello. You're looking alone.
Oh, this is the same bird, by the way. This is
A
Sirocco.
typical male, Sirocco is clearly only interested in one thing.
He's gonna boom.
Oh, look at that.
He's gonna boom.
He's trying to make this.
He's booming.
He's getting a bit frisky.
Wait, what if he's like? Oh my god.
He's actually attempting a sort of mating. He is. Oh, lost.
What?
I'm not happy. Quite sharp.
Look, he's so happy. One of the funniest things I've ever seen. You are being shagged by the right hand. He thinks you are. Wow, he's really going for it. Wow, you've chosen him. Is it actually you won't pay him?
That's all right.
Always
Leave
neck
Red
is
Shoe behind.
Am I?
Now they get him on.
He's fine. It's
You're
really
not
sharp.
sure that hurt.
Yeah.
Going back.
Not that we should patch you up, to be honest, because it's not good.
Wow.
I want you to call the chick. When you have the chick, I want you to call Stephen for me.
I'm not sure how to take
Egg
that.
will come out of your mouth. Ladies and gentlemen, you've seen the television first. You've seen Mark Dean, who has devoted his life to conserving animals, actually taking an active part in the conservation and breeding of a whole new generation, of a whole new species, Homo cacopens. He's going to give birth to a little Kākōpō. We're very proud of you.
Do you want to have a go?
I think I'll pass.
Bye, Ben.
That was fantastic.
You don't need to look at that.
That is so awesome.
Yeah, that's it.
Cool. Step away from me.
And then, okay.